Hey guys, 1,684,569,103 stop here.
Yeah, welcome back to the video. And today we're going to be talking about The Witcher 3, or more accurately, Sam's going to be talking about The Witcher 3 because I haven't played it. But this is considered by many to be like the greatest game ever.
Yeah, like so many people are like,
it's beloved by so many people. And it put CD Projekt Red basically on the map because let's face it, no one cares about Witcher 1 and 2.
Yeah, like I love in the honest game trailers, it's like, but you pretended to play the other two games just so that you can seem like a massive fan. It's like, yeah, that's what everybody thinks. But yeah, we're gonna basically say why it's overrated because I personally think it's overrated. So yeah,
I haven't played it. I've seen gameplay. I know a decent amount about the Witcher world and stuff.
Yeah, and I've played it. So through Xbox Game Pass, I was able to play it, and I downloaded it, and I played for a good chunk amount of time. You can't say like, oh, yeah, you didn't get to the good part yet. Well, if I'm not in the good part within like 10 hours or something like that, something's wrong with the game, all right? I'm sorry. But basically, I played through it a lot, and so we're going to be going through the things that I think are overrated, which is a lot of stuff. So, starting off with the story, I thought the story was decent. I didn't think it was anything spectacular. Basically, there's this lost girl, and and it's the typical, youngster who's always off, disobeying people, blah, 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 and you have to go find them, and then they've grown up, and they're super, ultra, mega powerful, and you have to go find them. And I personally found it was okay. I don't really remember much of it, but I was just kind of bored. Now, the main reason why I thought the story was kind of boring and stuff like that was because you have to go from quest into a side quest within the main quest. So basically, you'll have this one quest. Oh yeah, you gotta go speak to someone who had an interaction with her or something like that. For example, like this Baron guy. And you have to do tons of other side quests for him. You have to find out about his baby and stuff like that. And then you have to resurrect this ghost baby that starts floating away. And then you have to go investigate this witch's house. And then you have to go talk to her estranged daughter, and her estranged daughter is like, yo, get out of here. Maybe you could do another side quest for me. It was so convoluted and crazy that I didn't even realize what the point was anymore. I was so just annoyed and tired of it. And so the point that I stopped playing at was when I was going through the story, and I had to go investigate this one witch's place, and in order to investigate this place, I had to talk to this person, and either A, I had to wipe his mind or influence him with one of the signs, but I wasn't high enough level, or I had to grind my butt off to get enough money so that way I could do the quest. And that's the point when I stopped the game, because I didn't want to have to do all this side quest and stuff. A game that forces me to do quote-unquote side quests.
Yeah, it's not a side quest if it's required.
No, it's so annoying and stuff like that, that when I'm blocked off from doing the main quest when I have to do the quote-unquote optional stuff. If a game is truly open world, or you have optional areas, then that means you could do whatever you want, whenever you want. For example, Red Dead Redemption 2. If you wanted to, it could be a very linear game. Just go from main mission to main mission to main mission. Yeah, who cares? You're just going from that to that. But the open world is optional. You have side quests that are optional. You don't, and if it is a quote-unquote side quest, it still is labeled as a main quest. Like, for example, you'll get this letter, and you go visit your so-and-so, and this is Red Dead Redemption. You'll get this letter, and then you could choose whether or not to do it. But in this game, it's oh yeah, you have to do these side quests, and it was really, really, really infuriating.
Oh, wait, I need to bring up, we're not saying, we don't know if the rest of the game is good, because he hasn't played it, but from what he's played, it seems like it's not all that it's hyped up to be.
Yeah.
So maybe it gets better later on, but if the first 7 hours of the game, which is how much he's played, is just unbearable and you don't want to play it anymore, then it's probably not that great.
Yeah, I thought the story was fine. It wasn't anything spectacular, and I don't think it's obvious. It's not bad. I'm not gonna say oh my gosh, everybody thinks the story is so good when it's actually bad. No, it's if they like the story, then I'm sure there's some crazy reveals and twists that happen later on. But as far as I got, I wasn't a fan. All right, now we're gonna move on to my favorite part of the game, which is the combat. Now I am not a fan of the combat in this game. It felt like the very beginning of Dark Souls 2 when you basically have no iframes. I was constantly dodging, blocking, stuff like that, but I still got hit. It was just incredibly annoying. You only have a heavy attack and a light attack, then a block and a dodge, plus your like signs or whatever, like the flame signs and all that stuff. And like there's so many convoluted crazy things like, oh yeah, you could change this gear and upgrade this one stat that allows you this one stat to become even better, and oh, there's potions, bread, food, and you have to use this sword against this one enemy, and you use a sign, and this sign is only effective against these 3 certain enemies out of the million of enemies and stuff like that. And so I was a little bit annoyed by that at first, but I was like, yeah, everybody really likes this game, so I'll try it out. But after a while, it just got to be so similar. Now, the reason why Dark Souls isn't that like isn't as boring as this is because the enemies have so many different times against attacks and stuff like that. Each boss in Dark Souls is pretty much unique. It has different attacks. But in this game, I ran into basically the same few enemies. There's like ghouls, goblins, wolves, and humans. That's it. That's the very few enemies that I got into, and it got very boring seeing the exact same attacks over and over and over again.
And it doesn't look like these enemies have very much depth from the gameplay I've seen. And when the combat is also not very deep, I mean, it's very convoluted, but the basic combat is very simple. So it doesn't really translate to varied gameplay.
Yeah, and like if a majority of the game is you going around doing combat and also just kind of like just walking around from place to place asking people questions, it gets really, really boring very quickly. So all in all, I still think it's a good game. I don't have, it's not like I'm angry that this game is bad. Obviously, I was just joking throughout the video and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm not angry at this game or anything. I'm not like, oh my gosh, they ruined the Witcher series for me or something like that. I never had any attachment to this game. I just heard it was good, so I tried it. Wasn't a fan of it. If you like it, that's fantastic. I'm not trying to convince you to change your mind and stuff like that. It's very much like our Bloodborne video, where we just think that this game is heralded like so amazing in the gaming community that I think it was just kind of like, I'm not a huge fan of it. And there are definitely good elements, and I'm sure later on it probably gets fantastic, but for what I played, it wasn't that amazing.
Well, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you liked it and you want to see more videos like this and get offended and post angry comments more often. So yeah, if you want to do that, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Bye.